Hello, welcome back. So today I need to talk to you about something personally because let me just give you some backstory if you don't know anything about me. So I started programming on the computers when I was in 3rd grade at a summer camp that I went to at UCSD college campus. It was a program for the summer because my parents both had to work full time, and so I went to summer camps like YMCA or whatever as a kid. So one year I went to this programming summer camp when I was in 3rd grade at UCSD, and that's really what blossomed my interest for programming because I was already playing computer games and I grew up playing regular Nintendo and Super Nintendo and all that. But having firsthand where I could go to the camp and learn how to program 8 hours a day. And then we had a few hours where we played games too. We'd eat at the cafeteria on campus. The meals were provided, and go home. It was like, at the end of the day, after your parents pick you up, it was like a dream come true for me. It was like everything I wanted in a summer camp. I got to learn how to program and play video games, computer games, and be with other kids and like-minded people who were interested in doing the same things. So I've been playing games for well over 3 decades, and I've been programming for well over 2 decades. So I'm not the only person with this back history or story, but I'm in a unique position to point out this problem because many people are, and I feel that I should say something as well because it's become too egregious for me not to, and because I already bought into this game. And I've purchased other games like Kickstarters and things and pre-orders that I was maybe skeptical about or thought there wasn't going to be a deliverable even at all. But that's the point, is that people need to be aware of that, right? So my point is that there's games that have come out like Chronicles of Illyria, for example. This is a known scam. There was no game, there was no deliverable. They created a deliverable that was nothing like the original game in order to avoid even more lawsuits and heartache and money loss. So this game never actually existed. The idea of it was there, and what all of these Kickstarter games are selling to you is an idea. Your imagination is taking over, just like mine. That how good this could be. Oh, I can imagine if they use the money like this. Like if I use the budget like this, it'll be like this, right? Like they'll have enough money, etc., etc. Well, this game raised like almost $9 million, over 8 million, between 8 and 9 million. Doesn't exist except for some half-assed made deliverable to avoid further lawsuits. We have this game, which the NDA tells you everything you need to know, but they've raised whatever 1.5 million, 2 million, so a couple million at most, and you could do your own research, but this is a train wreck. Just as a project, not the game when you play it to stop you from saying the NDA. The management and the backstory of this project is a nightmare, and the people in charge are the ones that are destroying it, and that's why it's a sad story. But see, that's the point: is that these people who get like a million, 2 million, 3 million, they may not know what they're doing. They may not have enough game development experience. They may not have the tools that they need. You're giving your money to them on blind faith based on some assets that they purchased from the Unreal store or something like that, and a concept, and your imagination is running with it. And that's the whole point of the crowdfunding, right? This game, also another disaster. The only thing they ever delivered was a demo that doesn't work. And it's been 4 or 5 years, and there's radio silence from the developers. This game also raised millions of dollars, right? This game right here, this nobody has heard from these developers in 4 or 5 years. This was an asset flip. There's a whole bunch of legal fallout. This game's never existed, right? So that we've seen all that, we can look at this. The most expensive video games to ever develop. So when you're looking at things like this, we're talking 1 to 10 million, somewhere in there. It's very easy to imagine how you could mislead a group of people to give you 1 million or 10 million, but to give you over 400 million and there's no deliverable, no actual finished game after 10 years, and now they're trying to silence people from speaking out on this. This game is a giant scam, okay? People will defend this till the end of the earth, but it's a scam. These people have had you just like they've had me. Okay? So I'm speaking about this so more people don't get scammed just like how I did. Because this is a scam just like these games. They're just showing you enough so that you don't think it's a scam. But if we look at these other games, look at how much more money these people have taken from people without giving you a game. In more than double the time that these games were created, many of them. Even if these games took 10 years, any of these highest games, if they took 10 years or more, look at how much they cost. 300, 300, 130, 230, 160, 100. It's a fraction of what these people have taken. Yet they're so incompetent that they can't even deliver you half of what these people have given you. Look at like, everybody hated Cyberpunk at first, and then they have like these updates and they've come around, right? So even within 1 year's time of a completely negative perception launch on a game, are they able to come out with updates and amend things to at least appease some people and give more deliverables that make up for the product? These people haven't even given you an actual game. I've played this game, okay? I bought the like $35 or $35 package, 35, 45, whatever the fuck it was. Because I used to play Escape from Tarkov. I used to stream Escape from Tarkov every day, and when I was winding down on that and looking for something new, someone that I had played Escape from Tarkov with convinced me that this was a good idea to get this game. Just get it, we'll play. And I got it to play with him. And I reserved judgment because I was like, man, okay, this was years ago, so I thought it's alpha, it's pretty rough, it runs terrible, right? Well, I've upgraded my PC since then and tried it again, and the performance is hardly better at all, if any. And there's nothing more in the game. Like, this game literally hasn't improved or added anything into it as far as I can tell in the last 3 or 4 years. Yes, there's lots of things that are added, but from an outside perspective, when people are on the outside looking in, and now you're talking about silencing people who talk about the roadmap, those are giant red flags for a scam. Because they're not actually delivering on all the promises that they promised to get the money from people, and now they're trying to silence people for speaking out to be like, hey, I gave you money because you promised this and this and this, and this by this day, and this by this estimated day, and this eventually, and we don't have any of these things. That's literally the definition of a scam. So, you don't want to take it from me? Do your own research. This is a giant scam. This isn't a real game. It's never going to release. It's just like Chronicles Lyria, Dead Matter, Identity. It's all exactly like all these games with hundreds of times the budget. And 10 years, a whole decade already put into it, and they still have nothing to show for it, except for the fact that they are scamming you. Like, people need to hold things like this accountable, because if everybody's going to shit all over a game like this, which I'm not a fan of, I never purchased this. I thought it was terrible. It looked terrible, sounded like a terrible idea. I think the concept's terrible, etc., etc., etc. But I can also understand and respect that not every game is made for me. Star Citizen is right up my alley. It's the exact type of game that I love. It's perfect. But again, I'm also reasonable enough and aware enough to acknowledge that that's not the game that I'm getting. And they're lying to you, and they're withholding information from you and taking more money from people. And now they're mad that you're speaking out about how they fucked up and their complacency and trying to silence those people. That's called silencing the truth. The truth about their complacency, the truth about their inadequate ability to provide a product that they provided, whether it's within a reasonable timeline or not. It doesn't matter. Because now that you're trying to silence people from speaking out on that they're trying to just wiggle their way out of obligation, essentially. It's as clear as day. So if these games can make halfway decent or popular games with a fraction of the budget, these people are literally pissing money away and lighting it on fire to not have anything to show for this amount of money. Or the people at the top are keeping way too much money and paying themselves way too much, and they're not hiring enough people and paying enough people, because this is inexcusable.